Okay, it says we're live. Now we're going to go over and
Mm-hmm.
make sure we're live on the page.
And the comments?
I put a comment in already. Stand by. See, there's at least a 30-second. So let's wait and see. And when we get live on the page, if you're watching us and you think we're live, we don't know we're live yet. So we're waiting. Even though this tells me
We're live.
Some days it takes a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it again.
31 seconds.
I think this is going to do it. Yeah. Okay. We got it. We got it. Okay. We're live from New York.
Yay!
I'm Ellie Walsh.
And I'm Carol Mikowski, up on the
We
hill.
are here tonight with Napoleon Hill's book, The Law of Success. We've been here a lot of Monday nights in a row. And tonight we're on what this book calls Lesson 11. So the lesson is concentration. Some books call it Lesson 12. So we've done does that mean 12 chapters already?
Yeah, maybe.
Whoa, okay. So we still have several more to go. This is a very interesting book, that's for sure.
This would be 12.
Next one, well, what?
This would be 12.
This is the 12th time we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. So, I just wanted to say briefly, some folks have been getting in touch with us, telling us that they really appreciate this, so I'm really glad to hear that. Please continue to let us know that. I'm going to try to remember to get over his Facebook comments down below if you're seeing this on the website. And I have to refresh it. The order up that is a little cuckoo sometimes, but I'll hop over there. If you got something to say hi. Let us know you're here. And I also posted the playlist. Somebody wanted to know, where's all the other lessons? So they all end up on my YouTube channel, and I put them in a playlist, and there's a link for that on this page also above the video. It should be above the video. So that's my announcements for tonight. We are on the lesson concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem scattered, so I don't know how good I'm concentrating.
Maybe you're concentrated out from studying concentration.
So are you going to start us off, Carol?
Sure, sure. As usual, or as often, I'm going to start off with Napoleon's definition of concentration. And he says that concentration is the act of focusing the mind upon a given desire until ways and means for its realization have been worked out and successfully put into operation. One more time. Concentration is the act of focusing the mind upon a given desire until ways and means for its realization have been worked out and successfully put into operation.
Cool.
Now, he said there are two other laws that come into play here with concentration. One is the ever-famous law of autosuggestion, and the other is the law of habit, both of which he has discussed in previous chapters. And he brings it to the fore again because if you're not able to focus, or you're focusing on things that are not leading to your definite chief aim, or you're allowing yourself to be influenced by other things that do not lead you to your definite chief aim, then you want to change that habit. And he says autosuggestion is the tool to forge a new path, new habit, new way of thinking, to bring you in the direction that you want to go. And concentration is the hand that holds that tool, and habit is the path itself that takes you there. So,
but isn't this, when you read this chapter and you think about it, so many people that I know, and different points in my own life, okay, you know, so they come up with this definite chief aim, a goal, a vision,
Mm-hmm.
an intention, call it what you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
And they do start to focus on it. But, you know, life does what life does. And we could go into that even further of why life does why it does, okay? And they go off of it, you know. So this is a key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that it's that concentration of, you know, somebody said, what, be obsessed? Well, okay, if that works, get obsessed. You know, if you really want this, people that say, no, I really want my life to change, I really want this to happen, it's like, then get obsessed, okay? That's a damn good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the kicker. If you're not obsessed or constant, you know, have your concentration on this thing that you want, whether you know it or not, you are obsessed, concentrated on all that crap that's happening that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah, and he also says when you're setting your definite chief aim, and again, I'm sure he said this before in prior chapters, but that's the good thing in a sense. He reiterates things so that
yes.
it sinks in after a while. Do not look at it as a lack. Don't say, oh, I want that because I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
No, look at it as a belief. I want that, and I know I'm going to get it. I want it.
So here we go. This is, if any of you read Abraham Hicks or follow them, listen to their, this is what they teach all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're, and this is what the majority of people do, unless you get this focus that you realize, oh crap, this is what I do, and here's why, because it's a habit.
Mm-hmm. So we change that.
Yeah, and
that is mind path.
That's such a big. I loved it. I love that story he uses. It's not that's not the right word. You know what I mean, though. An example.
Uh-huh.
That of a record player. Some of you might not be old. Some of you might be not old enough to know what a record player is. I just realized that.
I was thinking of that when I read it. I said, probably.
Holy crap!
What that is.
I know what a record player is. Okay.
Phonograph.
What he said was that the mind is the needle on that phonograph, the record player, right? Mm-hmm. And your habits is the record with the grooves in, and the mind follows it precisely. That is huge. It was an analogy. That was the best analogy I've ever heard of that, really.
Yeah, I thought that was great too. Yep.
The mind is the needle,
mm-hmm.
and the habit, you know, the habit of the way you look at life, the habit of the way of your belief systems. You know, as far as I'm concerned, me and Napoleon, now I know we would have got along really, really good, because what he's calling, you know, he didn't call it mindset map. I have to look in the book now. I forget exactly what he called it, but I would call your mindset map. Mm-hmm. You know, that you have these
path, I think he used.
Right, pathways.
Mm-hmm.
You have these habit pathways, and we don't realize this. We're not just talking about brushing your teeth's a habit. That's a good one, by the way. But putting deodorant on, that's a good one too. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that we have habits of the way we look at life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's actually a habit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons you see so many people, they set out to do something, and stuff goes on in the way. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if you'd let that stuff just go on and stay focused, you'd find out that stuff was a cooperative component.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff, but instead, you know, we stop, and that is because There's a habit back there of not following through, or really, really more importantly, there's a habit back there of believing this isn't going to work for me. I'm not good enough. So those habits, you know, if you want to get those, what you're really wanting, you need to change the record. You need to go out and buy a new damn record. You got to cut the record. You don't even want to buy. You got to cut the record because it's your record.
Right. You got to make your own grooves. Yep.
That's right. That's right. You got to make your own grooves. He also used that thing that this is what we have a tendency to do. If we go for a walk in the woods, people will usually take the road, the path that is worn down.
Mm-hmm.
Not walk through the brush.
You've been making up new words all week.
I make up new words on a daily basis. So, you know, we go through this pathway, and it brings you to the same damn place. And there's, you know, I'll bring Einstein in here because he said, you know, what's insanity? And that's doing the same thing over and over again and looking for different results. Get a new record. Cut a new record. You write the record and cut it. Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Mm-hmm. He gives you 4 steps to do this in also. And he says, first of all, here's how you remove the old habit, okay? And he says, of course, you don't really remove it. You create a new one. That's what happens. And you focus otherwise because it's almost impossible to remove an old habit. You just create a new one and begin to focus on it. And how you do that is with force and enthusiasm. Mm. Feel what your new habit is, what you think, what you want it to be. Feel it until it becomes easier.
And travel it often.
Right. Then he says, concentrate your attention on the new path. Focus. There's that word focus again. That's number 2. Number 3, exercise the new habit as often as possible. And number 4, proceed without doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. Have the belief.
You have to believe.
You can.
You go right back to the first chapter. Here's the question, folks. If you're up to this chapter, did you write a definite chief aim?
Mm-hmm.
Vision, intention, goal, I don't care what you call it. But have you done that part? Because consistently, I think at every damn chapter he talks about the definite chief aim.
Oh, yeah.
And talks about reading it 3 times, 2 times, these many times. Just keep doing it. And so what is that? That's concentration. He didn't call it that up until now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting my concentration. Now what am I really doing? You had a great analogy, you know, of the path with Jell-O.
Yeah. This goes way back to, I think it was the 3rd grade. I had a teacher, and obviously it made an impression on me because that was a few years ago. And this was probably a lesson in religion. I went to Catholic school in those days. And she was saying, you know, don't create bad habits. Don't get into sin and what have you, because it's hard. It's hard to create a new habit. And she gave this analogy. She said, think of a bowl of Jell-O and take a pin in your hand. Think of that. And you go around the bowl of Jell-O, and it just closes in on itself again. It folds right in. You hardly even see where you just went. Okay, you go a second time. You go maybe a 3rd time, and you might begin to see where you've been.
Some spots it's probably still closing in, right?
Right. So she says, just imagine how many times you have to go around there in order to create a positive habit, something that's good for you. And it's not easy. So, but she said it can be done. It's just
wait a minute.
Repetition. Repetition was the key there. And
because that is easy, okay? Yeah. See, there's a belief system we have. We just went through this last couple of weeks. We've been talking about this, right?
Right.
That we have a belief system and the teacher even told you that in 3rd grade. It's not easy to change a habit or create a new habit, and at 3rd grade it is damn easy. You don't got a whole lot of years, okay, of a bad habit.
Right, you haven't been that bad to begin with, right?
But they tell you It's not easy, which means they're telling you it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And, that in itself we've been talking about, that's a freaking habit.
Mm-hmm.
Believing stuff is hard is a habit.
Right. Right.
So, I realized that in my own life, certain things that I went, holy crap, I'm still living this hard thing. Now, pay attention to this. I'm living to this thing that, because I believe it's hard, and it is hard for me because I believe it's hard, and it's easy for me to live that hard.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you got that. You out
Say
there?
it again.
Huh?
Say it again.
Well, so I believe something's hard. I was taught it. He talks about environment. It was from my environment. It was, and I anchored it. I would call it. He doesn't use the word anchor, but you anchor it when you go over the path again and again and again and again and again. And so now you go. It's hard. So you have a tendency not to do it. You step back from it. It's like, and then you do it, but you go, oh, it's hard, and it is every freaking time I do it. It's hard, and then I realized, holy crap, it's easy. It's easy being hard because I believed it. Mm. So it's easy living the hard. Living the hard wasn't hard to do. It was easy to live the hard. That like should go ding, 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 light bulbs going off. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have our buttons. We've had them for a while, but we hit this button.
Well, today we were putting an air conditioner in the window, and for a second we said, "Oh, this is going to be hard to do." Mm. Then you said, "Oh no, this will be easy," and it was. A couple of adjustments here and there, bing bang, and choom, it was in. Yeah,
that's right.
It wasn't hard.
That's extremely powerful. That's really great that you just talked about that, and here's why. I don't know if you people care about our air conditioner, but we said it was hard, and then we changed it.
Right.
Said, no, wait a minute. And first of all, that starts to come automatic. I've been listening to a recording I do about things being easy ever since I made this realization, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks ago. And that started to come up a little more automatically, right? So that's because I've been doing it over and over and over again. And now just by talking about it, by you bringing it up, Carol, oh, that's right, we said it was hard, and then you said it was easy, and then it was easy. That's a reference point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Napoleon didn't talk about reference points, but I'm gonna. Okay. And in essence, he does, because he talks all about how to do this. When you are changing that habit, whatever you want to call it, okay, and the habit of belief even, you've got to celebrate the little victories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, there's to me that's autosuggestion in action.
Right, in action.
Feeding yourself so that it then becomes part of your subconscious, and then that's what you act from henceforth.
Right. And it's a deliberate thing. You have to be aware enough to do it. Mm-hmm. To stay deliberate about it. And as he said about habits, okay, and then all of a sudden, that other way you did it or looked at it, I think that's what I want people to realize. It's not about how you do things. It's belief systems. Okay, that I am a whole different person than I was. I don't know how many years ago. Okay, but a lot of years ago. 30 years ago. I'm a whole different person today because I had very limiting beliefs about myself. And I had to concentrate. I did. You absolutely have to take deliberate action. It's deliberate concentration. It's deliberate attention. Does it work? Yes. Did it take 30 years of my life to change? No. No. Does it take just 2 weeks? No, probably not. Okay, probably takes longer than that. But you see results.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing he goes back to, and he's spoken about this before also, is environment. And he's talking about that in terms of Remember the definition of concentration was, put yourself in the path of, these are my words now, influences that will take you to your definite chief aim, and that's where environment comes in. And he says environment, of course, is extremely broad, and he mentioned some of the things that environment includes, and it's more than that even, religion and intellectual training up to the age of 14, he specifies. So in other words, you can be brainwashed by the educational system, by the religious institution, and it depends on which way they want you to learn how you're going to come out from that. There's, of course, your family, which he doesn't mention. There's daily associates, and he says, do they inspire you? And he talks about employers. Do they create an inspirational and encouraging environment? Good question. And concentrating on one subject at a time and master it. Master it. The folks in our business talk about that a lot. You can get distracted by all these so-called shiny objects, different ways of doing things, and this one is successful that way, that one is successful this way, and oh my God, which one should I do? Which one should I follow? Pick one. Pick one and master it. And that's how he says, that you can be very much aware of your environment and choose from it what is going to influence you positively towards your definite chief aim, and what doesn't, eliminate it.
Right. Well, you talk about brainwash, and he says 14. That's the oldest I've ever heard. Usually they say between 7 and 10.
7, yeah.
Well, that's when I say that, and they didn't talk like this then, all right, but they're aware today that children up till around the age of 7, some could be 6, some could be 9, okay? They live in that alpha theta mode, which is a brainwave mode. So, which is a mode that is a sponge. It takes everything in. So in essence, all children are brainwashed. And not even brainwashed, their brain's so new it don't need to be washed. It's just filled in with a whole bunch. All children are, okay, because of the environment you're in. You watch how people live. You hear what they say. Children take it, especially in by hearing, and you start. That's the eyes you see life from.
Yeah. Well, I think
especially when they're little, they say. You say to a 3-year-old, "You're wrong." They tell you, "No, I'm not wrong." Okay, and they'll fight with you. Okay, and I believe that they're not wrong. They might be wrong in your interpretation, but if you really watch how adamant they are, unless they've gotten beat up for saying that, but no, I'm not wrong, and they're gonna okay. So because they know who they are at that point, and then they get beyond that and they start taking on, because you're kind of pressured to take on other people's opinions and other people's experiences. First of all, you're little, okay, and you do need people to take care of you, and these people are important in your life. So
this happens as adults too, and that's why he's saying be very judicious in what you allow to influence you or brainwash you, if you will.
Right.
Make sure that it's heading you in a direction that you want to go.
Now, when you're 4, you can't do that.
Right.
Okay, exactly. But when you're 20, I hope you're 20 and you're watching this. Okay, when you're 20, you can go, oh crap, let me look. I mean, I was in my 20s when I sat down and realized I was running on some belief systems that I didn't believe. Okay, my family believed them, but I didn't. Wasn't for me. I'm not saying they were good, bad, or indifferent. They weren't right for me, but I realized, holy crap, I was coming from some of the, from these belief systems. That's an eye-opener to sit back and really look at, what, and nobody ever tells you to do that. Like, you have this incredible mechanism, the brain, and then I would actually say the mind is different, but, this whole being that you are, and nobody ever says, sit down with yourself and find out what's true for you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not your
Well, what
mother.
was it? Your mother used to tell you, which was it? You liked vanilla ice cream, and you found out you really liked chocolate, or the other way
No,
around?
no. When I was little,
Yeah.
chocolate ice cream, she'd say, and I remember one time finally saying, and I always got chocolate ice cream. And then I remember saying something one day, and she said, "You like chocolate ice cream?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I'm in my 20s, okay? No, my late 20s. I'm probably 29 years old. And I'm
Yeah.
going to get ice cream. And I thought, because I remember other times thinking about getting vanilla ice cream, but then I hear my mother say, "No, you like chocolate ice cream." So I get chocolate ice cream. I mean, I like chocolate ice cream, okay? I do. But
Not your favorite.
I go and I get this. I finally decide, no, I think I like vanilla ice cream. Guess I was going to show. I was like, holy crap, I love vanilla ice cream. Okay? And for all those years, I'm not blaming my mother. She thought she was doing me a favor. Okay? All those years, I would be like, no, 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 I don't want vanilla. I like chocolate. Now, have you ever seen me eat chocolate ice cream?
No. No,
I
I
think
don't
I'm
think
making
I
up
have.
for it now.
No,
All
it's
right? For all the
vanilla.
years that I ate chocolate, now I'm doing a whole bunch, and then maybe I'll do a twist after.
Right, once in a while a twist. Right, once in a blue moon.
So it's
Yeah,
amazing to realize that. It
yeah,
is. This chapter, we could go on for 3 hours.
uh,
I'm
yeah.
realizing, my God, we're not, because you talk so much, Carol, we're hardly getting anything in.
Well, I mean, he goes on then and he talks about the law of attraction too, and again, towards your definite chief aim, that by what your thoughts are that you put out into the universe, into the ether, into the world, whatever your belief system is, are the same type thoughts that you're going to attract back to you. So again, you want to just be aware
Oh,
of
my God.
what
He
you're
talks about tapping into
saying,
higher thought, right? He's going to go
right?
more into that.
Yeah,
The other
yeah,
chapters, right? He's going to go more into this now.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, he says it's eventually going to be possible to tap into infinite intelligence.
Well, I
Everything,
think it is now.
everything that was ever thought
Well, I mean, he was saying then, but I
will
mean,
be
I
available.
don't doubt that. You know, he talks about you can all of a sudden getting thoughts, you know, and I've had moments of, you know, some people might think I'm crazy. That's okay, but I mean, information. I just downloaded it.
Hmm.
It just was handed to me. It's the only way I can say it. You want to say, no, I wasn't doing LSD. I wasn't smoking dope. Okay, I just I was like cold sober, and the information was handed to me. That's happened more than once in my life, and other ways just within that feeling. It's not
Hmm.
even, some of it was mental information, and then that just that feeling, it's like a download. You're downloading the love of the universe. You're downloading the connection of the universe.
Mm.
Happened more than once to me. And there was a time, folks, there was a time I would have said, you people are nuts.
Hmm.
Okay? When I
Bosh.
was trying, because my family didn't believe stuff like that, and I wasn't around stuff like that.
Mhm. Well, he also
So,
cited this fellow, I think his name was Gates, Dr. Gates, I'm not sure what his name was, who was a
there's
very
a lot
famous
of doctors in this one.
psychologist of the era. And he said this fellow was renowned for some of the theories and practices that he came up with. And he used to get an idea in his head and he would research it and read about it and do all that.
Hmm.
Then he'd go one step farther. He would go into his quiet spot with a pen and paper, sit down, and just open his mind up and allow thoughts to come in.
He'd start writing, and he'd just allow it to happen, right?
Right, right. And he said many times some wonderful new theories, new ideas
Right.
would come to
That's a
him.
download.
Yeah,
It
yep.
is, right?
Exactly.
That's right. I forgot about that guy. That's why there's so much in this chapter. I got to talk about this before we get out of here because we're getting close. He does say something in here. Most people lack ambition and a desire, and they desire nothing in particular. That pisses me off. And I know a lot of people say that, okay, and that's why it pisses me off, because there's another damn belief system we have, okay? And if you could point to me to somebody and say, are you going to tell me that person, don't they lack ambition? And they don't, I'm going to say, yes, they do, okay? But it's because of the mindset map, the record that is playing of what they believe about themselves. Everybody is born with that desire to just be who they are, which is the joy and beauty and excellence, a magnificent being. Everybody's born with that desire. Some of us get it squashed out younger than others, and some of us get it really squashed out badly. So I don't know what lifetime those people are going to get it at. I say never give up on anybody. I don't want to say about a person, I get it when I go, well, you're right. They don't look ambitious to me. But that belief of people, nobody really lacks ambition, okay? And nobody really desires nothing in particular. They are so not connected with themselves at that point. That's actually sad, all right? They're so not connected. So instead of like shoving that in their face even more, somehow if you could say a kind word to that person. Because you never know when they will tap back in. Because there's no such thing as it'll never happen. That's not true at all. I had to say.
Let me back up a little bit on that topic. What is that quote that you give all the time from Thoreau?
It's not from Thoreau. The one about every human being?
No.
What?
The one about people leading lives of desperation.
Oh, most men lead lives of quiet desperation.
Well, that's what he's saying, I think.
Well, that doesn't mean it's right either. Yes, that is true, okay? But it's not because they lack ambition or they desire nothing in particular. They've shut that off. That's still there in them. That could still be ignited in them. You never know when that will ignite in a person.
I don't think he's saying
I'm saying don't ever give up on people, ever.
I don't think Napoleon is saying that it couldn't be.
I didn't say he said that. I just don't like the damn saying. And if he was here, I would argue with him.
Giving you the map here of how to do it.
Yes.
Right.
But if you, and so, right, and you have to learn, and you have to have concentration, because to change the record sometimes doesn't come easy to people. That's why you have to, it's repetition, 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 repetition. It's like the guy in Manhattan standing with a violin, and he stops somebody, he's walking up and down the blocks with a violin, and he says to somebody, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And the other person says, practice, practice, practice.
I never heard that one.
You didn't? That's such a good old joke.
No.
That was my joke of the day. And I'm going to say this because we got to go. He did this whole big thing on revival in those pages, and he bored me. He did bore me. I don't disagree. Somehow he had some itch about revival meetings. I don't disagree with what he says in there, that they can be dangerous, and I don't disagree with that. Okay? But he went on. I was like, shut up.
Yeah, and it didn't really lead to anything. So.
No, and then I was like, okay, he's going to tell me now why the hell he just did 7 pages about a revival meeting, and he didn't. I'll tell you what, he had some bug up his behind about those revival meetings. Yeah. I'm going to talk to him because he says we can reach the people.
All right. Good idea. Good idea.
So,
what's your
ending thoughts?
Huh?
What's your ending thoughts?
Well, I just want to go one step further on what you were just saying about, don't give up on people and what have you. I think that they have not had the opportunity to think differently because of the environment that they're entrenched in, and also they just keep feeding themselves auto-suggestion based on the environment that they're in, which is oftentimes not a positive one.
That's right.
So if somebody can feed them some more information, if they can, sure, the potential is always there.
Okay, but now we go into that topic. Now I'm not finished. Now we go into that topic that, don't you be hanging out with all of them people that are like that, okay? Because that's the other thing. He said you need to be hanging out with like-minded people, people that understand your kind of goals or definite chief aim. They don't need to know it exactly if you don't want, but the like-minded people that uplift you and support you.
And support.
And people that bring you down and all, what do I do when I'm around people like that? I do like this. whoops, gotta go, and I don't wear a watch. And they never know I don't even have a watch on. I go, whoops, gotta go. You can't hang with them because you're messing up that pathway in your Jello.
That's right. Right.
All right. You better not say anything more because We'll be here till 9:30.
No, I'm done.
This was great. This chapter. I'm gonna say. I know I need to read it. I listened to it a gazillion times more, except the revival stuff, and like all the other chapters. So what's next week?
Next week is.
I know what it is.
It's cooperation.
Cooperation.
All right.
All right, and we'll do this for everybody.
That was easy. That was easy.
Okay. We'll be back next week. Thank you. Have a great weekend, day, and evening, and whatever.
See you then. Bye-bye.